You see, Jasmine Crockett kind of came out of nowhere, right? And now she's just everywhere, whether it's CNN, MSNBC. She seems to have become very popular in a short amount of time. I want to remind everyone how she got to that spot. You see, it was during this particular hearing where she made a comment about Marjorie Taylor Greene, and this is what made her go viral. Just a reminder.
For 4 minutes and 21 seconds.
Mr. Chair, point of order.
Who's?
It's me.
Ms. Crockett.
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
A what now?
Chairman, I make a motion to strike those words.
I don't think that's
Hold on.
part of
I'm trying to find clarification on what quality.
Chairman, motion to strike those
I had no idea
words.
what you just said.
We're not gonna do this. Look, you guys earlier literally just said
You just voted to do it.
Y'all did it first, so you don't want to talk about it.
Voted to do it.
Order.
I'm trying to get clarification.
Look at calm down.
No, because this
I
is
would
what
like to
y'all
get
do.
through proceedings.
So I'm trying to get
Ms.
clarification.
Crockett, you're not
You don't wanna
recognized.
play
Ms.
games.
I can't hear
Crockett.
you with your
And
yelling.
you don't want me
Calm
to
down.
Be,
Can
no,
you please calm down?
Don't tell me to calm down.
Calm down.
Because y'all
Please
talk
calm
noise,
down.
and then you
You're
can't
out of
take
control.
Because if I
Look,
come,
Chairman,
if I
can
come
we
and
send her
talk
outside to
shit
take a
about
break
her,
for 5
y'all
minutes?
gonna have a problem.
Mr.
Order.
Chairman.
So when I first saw this, I even said it back then. I hope people realize this is an act, right? This is an act. That's not who Jasmine Crockett is. This is how she was able to get on the map. This is how she was on everyone's radar after this outburst in a hearing, right? And so she kind of she'll come in and bring in like the sister girl, like yo, like that kind of attitude or whatever to get a lot of attention. It's not professional. People can say whatever you want about me, but that's not professional. There's a time and place for everything. And it's not cute. But that was her way of getting herself on the map. So from that moment, she went on to make all these different appearances. She went on all these different shows after that. And they were like, you called Marjorie Taylor Greene butch, blonde, bad body, da-da-da-da. First of all, it was really interesting that so many Democrats were praising that, because from what I remember, the term butch is a slur. So it's funny. It's interesting to me. The same people who claim to, we care about LGBTQ or whatever, they were applauding and cheering on Jasmine Crockett, even though she used a slur that's used against the LGBTQ community. This is how you know people are full of shit. So she got up a lot of attention there, and she's been getting attention since. And then, of course, she decides to put out this dancing video because this is really what she want to do, right? Jasmine Crockett really want to do this kind of stuff. So she put out this video to Kendrick Lamar's song.
Oh no! It's a cultural divide. I'ma get it on the floor. You really about to do it? 40 acres in the mule. This is bigger than the music. You really about to do it? Yeah, they tried to rig the game, but you can't fake influence. They get on it like that. Hey, I'm tripping, I'm sliding, I'm riding through the back like buck. Mustard on a beat, bro, deep boat in the rap. He a freak though, man down, call like Amber Lambs. Tell him breathe, let them boys to the cross, they walk around like G's.
So we talked about this before when it happened as well. Jasmine Crockett wants to be seen. This is what Jasmine is there to act a damn fool. And here's another thing. It would be different if you were behaving this way and you were actually winning. I don't know, like passing some legislation, shit like that. Because in order to be an effective member of Congress, you actually have to pass legislation. Maybe go in there and write some damn bills. I don't know. How about do your damn job? Things like that. This is an act. Look at me, guys. I'm like you. I'm dancing with Kendrick. I'm down. I'm down with the homies. I haven't seen this before. But you think this really who she is, right? Because see, while you're paying attention to this, you're paying attention to the entertainment. Oh, Jasmine was out there dancing. Whoa. Oh, Jasmine called MTG a butch blonde. Da-da-da-da-da-da. This is the same trick that has been used against Black people for years. Focus on entertainment and don't focus on legislation. Don't focus on these laws that are being passed. Don't focus on where they're getting their money from. Don't focus on who they're in bed with politically. Jasmine Crockett supports Israel, by the way. Someone who was a civil rights attorney, I find it kind of strange that you're supporting the oppressor. But they don't want to talk about that. They don't want you to focus on that. They don't want you to talk about that because they want you to just look at her dance. That's a distraction. As we go on, we will see. I showed you this because Jasmine Crockett has not been there long. And Jasmine Crockett already has a challenger. There is a gentleman who has announced that he is challenging Jasmine Crockett. He is running against her, and he claims that she is not doing anything for their district. Let's go ahead and bring up this clip here. He is a Republican, and now they're in Texas, and he is saying that Jasmine Crockett has to go because she's not helping the community. His name is Sheldon Daniels. Listen to this.
It's called the President of the United States an enemy to this country. Why? Because he did what any strong leader would do. He demanded respect for the office and for the American people. So let's get one thing straight. President Trump didn't kick out Zelensky just to make a scene. He set a precedent. If you come to our house, our White House, you don't show up with demands. You show up with diplomacy. No more blank checks. No more begging. No more business as usual where American taxpayers foot the bill while foreign leaders call all the shots. The fact that Jasmine Crash Out Crockett is more offended by this than she is by billions of our tax dollars disappearing overseas tells you everything that you need to know about her priorities. She's not standing up for TX30. She's standing up for that same corrupt globalist agenda that's been draining this country and these people dry. If I were in Congress today, here's what I'd be focused on. Getting answers on where our money is going, demanding accountability, and making sure that American interests come first every single time. This is the time for nationalism. Jasmine would rather virtue signal on Twitter than actually do her job. She'd rather go on TV and talk than do her job. So no, our president is not an enemy to the country. The real threat is weak leadership, reckless spending, politicians that put foreign governments like Mexico, Canada, Ukraine ahead of the interest of the American people. TX30 deserves better. America deserves better. Let's bring some common sense to Washington in 2026. I'm Sheldon Daniels. I'm the candidate who's going to take Jasmine Crockett out of Congress and send her back to the beauty salon where she belongs.
Damn. And you know what's interesting? First of all, and really quick, I don't agree with him either, by the way. I don't support him either. But what's interesting about this? He's Black. It's a Black guy running against her. It's not a white candidate trying to take her out of that seat. It's a Black candidate trying to take her out of that seat. Jasmine Crockett was another one that in the beginning, it just seemed like to me, she really did change. She really did change. And now he brought up something else because people are freaking out and they're saying, oh my God, this guy is trying to run against Jasmine Crockett. Da, da, da. I'm like, if she's doing as great as you guys say she is, you shouldn't be concerned at all. You shouldn't be concerned at all. But is she doing as great as people are saying she is? According to him, no. Look at this. He's saying that she received $16,000 in political contributions from an elderly retired couple. Now he goes to confront this couple and they're saying they had no idea what these charges were. Look, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys right now, this guy is serious. And for those joining, like, I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat, I voted green, but this is serious. And if I was Jasmine Crockett, I'd be paying more attention to this than dancing down the hallways of Congress, getting those giant fake eyelashes or whatever else she do. I don't know why people got to put all this stuff on. I just don't know. But she was not that way. I'm trying to tell you guys, she definitely changed. And I'll show you the difference. He went and hunted these people down. Watch this.
All right, guys. So I'm about to go to Randy Best's house, introduce myself, and just ask them straight up if they contributed to Jasmine's campaign, if they contributed that amount, and why they like her so much, because I might be able to learn a little bit of something while I'm up here. I'm way up here in Collin County. I'm in Plano, Texas, very far from TX30. It's very peculiar that somebody up here would give that much money to a candidate in our district. Maybe they have a special connection to the district. Let's go find out. I'm not going to film them. I'm not going to put any faces or anything on there. I'm just going to have my camera down at the ground. I'm going to be standing in a public, area in open air. I'm just, recording what's going on around me. Let's see what happens.
Oh, boy. And like, he was for real about it too. Was that a stop or a rollerway stop? That almost seemed like a rollerway stop, guys. I don't know if he came to a full stop at that stop sign.
Here's the house. Here's the house right here. Here we go.
But he's taking us with him.
How do you do, ma'am?
No soliciting.
I'm not here. I'm not a solicitor. I'm attorney Sheldon Daniels.
Okay.
Is there a Randy Best who lives here?
That's my husband.
Yeah. I just want to verify. Are you guys aware that you were charged over $16,000 last year? Yeah.
What?
I have a list of charges. I'm just here to verify that you guys know about this. $16,240 in political contributions to a candidate named Jasmine Crockett. Do you remember that at all? Does your husband remember that at all?
I don't know. He's on the road on his way to Colorado.
Okay. It says here that he's not employed. Is he employed now?
No, we're retired.
Okay. I can leave this with you if you want. It's got your information on it.
Yeah, you can just leave it on the table.
Yes, ma'am. You mind if I take a picture?
Go ahead.
All right, thank you. Okay, guys, so I just drove by the home of this Randy Best guy. This guy, he's a 73-year-old retiree, unemployed. He and his wife, I guess they just travel around in an RV or something. I don't know. But he's on the road. His wife answered the door. She said that they had no idea what these charges were. And they had no idea that they were charged $16,000 or that they are responsible for $16,000 in political contributions to Jasmine Crockett.
So again, we're going to say allegedly on this show because they ain't coming for me. But if that is true, that's not good. And I would think you would notice that $16,000 was missing. I don't know. It's not like it's $16. It's $16,000. Like, I think you would notice if that was missing.
Yeah, she has them listed as political contributors. Now, mind you, I'm way up here in Plano. I'm in a totally different county. I'm in Collin County right now. The only reason why I'm even able to do this is because I practice law all over North Texas and I drive all over. So I know North Texas very well. Collin County, Dallas County, Tarrant County, Denton County, Grayson County. A lot of shady stuff going on with Jasmine Crockett. And I see why she was doing all this. Because she's trying to distract from the corruption. I wonder how deep it goes.
So he has announced that he is running against her, like Jasmine Crockett. He is also an attorney. I don't support either one of them, but he has announced that he's serious. He's running against her because he said that she's not actually helping the people or fighting for the people in the district. Now, I have told you guys before about the people that are selected for these positions, and Jasmine Crockett is no different. When we're talking about Black politicians, they typically tend to tap into the boule, right? So Kamala Harris was a part of that. We know that, well, I'm gonna show you Jasmine is a part of that. We know that Jim Clyburn was also a part of that. And as you can see here with Jasmine as well, she was a Delta Sigma Theta, right? So this is what I've been trying to tell you guys. A lot of the Black politicians that you see are particularly, we ain't talking about local ones, we're talking about the ones particularly in Congress, right? Or who may run for president. A lot of times they're all a part of that boule, the Divine Nine, etc. Now, this is not to shade anybody who's been a part of a Greek organization. That's not what this is about. What I'm trying to show you is they pick a certain type of Black person to be there. This is why someone like Cori Bush, remember Cori Bush had to run twice. She didn't win the first time. This is why someone like Cori Bush, what do they continue to say? Like, she wasn't supposed to be there. They didn't want her there. And it's all one big club. If you look at a lot of your judges, senators, right? We're talking about even federal judges, people that are pretty high up within the African American community, they're all part of the Black boule. So it doesn't necessarily mean that they worked harder. This is not to say she didn't work hard, but it helps when you in that circle. Because I learned a long time ago, and I'll tell you, no one's just going to give you something just because you work hard. It's all about who you know and who you network with and what societies you're a part of and what organizations that you're a part of. That's a big part of it. It's all one big game. And they tend to back each other. So as you can see, she's one of them too. Let's go ahead and go to part 2 for type B and C. Certain type of people that they're looking for. Now, why am I saying this? Because what you see from Jasmine Crockett, you see her behaving a certain way in that hearing towards MTG. You see her dancing down the hallways of Congress. You'll see her put on like this sister girl like act. And none of the other Black politicians in Congress are speaking that way to the public. That is an act. It's to convince you that, see, I'm down just like y'all, da-da-da. But she really not. I'm about to show you the class difference. Now I'm going to take you back to the first time. This is before she was in Congress. This is when Jasmine came on to Jen Perlman's show. And then we're going to fast forward and I'm going to tell you why you don't see her on there now. So listen to this. This is when she first came on. At that point in time, she was a part of the Texas legislature. So she wasn't in Congress in DC yet. Listen.
We are going to welcome in the representative of the 100th district in the Lone Star State, Jasmine Crockett. Welcome to Generation Change.
Hi, guys. How are y'all?
Hi, it's so nice to meet you. I was just watching you on the show 2 days ago, and I texted him like, we got to get this girl. We got to get her on the show. And then I'm like, oh, she'll never respond. So then I called my friend Ina Minhares.
Yes.
Yes. And I'm like, okay, I could probably get Ina to come on, but then I knew that you were sort of leading this thing. So, and then you responded. I was so excited. It's so nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too. I apologize. We literally are just leaving a dinner with a congresswoman, and so I'm on a bus.
No, it's all good.
But I make sure I keep my headphones ready and my phone ready so that I can do whatever interviews I need to do. So thanks so much for doing this, you guys. It's
absolutely.
Really powerful to have the type of platform that you have and to use it for good instead of.
So doesn't this sound like a different person? Right. See? Yeah. That's what I told you. The stuff that you're seeing her do, like all this outlandish like behavior, the sister girl like act or whatever, that's an act. That's to get like attention, right? Now I'm going to fast forward. We're going to go to the more recent Jen Perlman appearance when I was on there. I want you to hear what she says about Jasmine Crockett today. So that other video, that was like from 3 years ago. Listen to what's happening now.
I remember when she was in this Texas legislature and led that walkout, and we actually had her on the show for doing that. She led a walkout of the Texas legislature so that they didn't have enough people to pass this anti-choice legislation, and it was a badass move. So I'm like, all right, cool, let's get her on the show. We had her on the show, and I found her so inspired, from that. And then when she got into Congress, I felt like, I'm like, cool, like that's really cool.
And then she came on. Then she came on again when she was in Congress.
And again, she's been nice to me. She's been good to me, but it's been very disappointing to watch the trajectory from someone who led a walkout, albeit on an issue that's easy to get behind. I mean, but that was the issue. But that was pretty ballsy thing to do. They let down and risk getting. I mean, it was ballsy. So I don't know. I find her like very disappointing.
So you guys hear that? This is 3 years later. Now wait till you hear this part.
And much like Alex, it's the same thing. I tried to reach out to Jasmine not too long ago and just kind of, be like, hey, would you be willing to come back on the show?
Well, yeah. It always happens that way.
That's what happens because they cannot be confronted with the reality of what the problem is. The problem is our failed political and economic system. That's what it is. And they cannot be confronted with that because they immensely benefit from it. I mean, Jasmine is in a situation, just like Alex is in a situation, where if they simply play their cards right, they've got that seat for 30 years. Like, they don't have to do anything. Yep. They just kind of have to, mug it up for the cameras, if you will. Kind of like how Senator Murphy, who was trying to see if he could find his lane in the progressive area, that didn't work out too well too quickly.
So Jen Perlman and Peter, they know this because Jen ran for office. Peter helped her with her campaign. They know how this works. So you saw that she was on the show 3 years ago, and you fast forward now they say she won't come on because they know they're going to hold, and Jen will do that. Like Jen and Peter, they're going to try to hold you accountable. Right. So what you're seeing from Jasmine, another one that changed, Savita has a good point here. She pretends to be working class with her accent. Right. That's the point I'm trying to get across to you, but she's not. And that's fine. You don't have to be that way. But I'm trying to tell you that front that she's putting on, that's intentional. That's on purpose. She don't talk that way. You just saw the way she was talking to Jen. Look, let's look at it, okay? Let's look at some stuff, all right? And you let me know if she like you. When we look at Jasmine's background, and I looked this up. She was born in St. Louis. She attended the Mary Institute in St. Louis Mary Institute in St. Louis Country Day School. So I already looked that up. That's a private school. It is what it is. That's a private school. Okay. So this is what I'm trying to show you guys. Okay. She went to Rhodes College. She was going to become an accountant, yada, yada. She graduated with a Bachelor of Arts in Business Administration. She attended the University of Houston Law Center. Obviously, you guys know she became a lawyer. But the point that I'm trying to show you is even before she became a lawyer, she was at a private school. So even throughout K through 12, she was at a private school. What I'm trying to tell you is she came from money. So this whole sister girl act that you see her putting on, that's a front. It's not real. Sometimes people that look like us are selected to present themselves in a certain way to make you think they on the same, but they not on the same class level. Jasmine Crockett said so herself. She took a pay cut when she decided to take the congressional position, a pay cut. Now, from what I understand, they get a starting salary of what, $165,000 a year? If this sounds familiar to you, if this story kind of sounds familiar to you, it's probably because she might remind you a little bit of AOC. I was a bartender, right? My mom cleaned houses, leaving out a whole different part of the story that her dad was the president of the architecture firm that he worked at. She went to Boston University. I worked at BU. I know how expensive BU is. So all these other things that you don't want to add, you lived in Westchester County. It is not uncommon for there to be people that are not a part of that lower class, but they are a quote unquote minority. So they feel like the best way to get people, let me make it seem like I'm a part of that group, but I'm not. So there is a class difference, and that's no shade there. I'm not trying to say, oh, you should dislike her because of her class. What I'm trying to say is she's trying to pretend that she's something else. Took a pay cut when she went to Congress. So she was doing really well. And you can look up some more of the stuff for yourself about her. But Jasmine Crockett, I've been trying to tell people about this. You got to be very wary of the Jasmine Crockett's, the Hakeem Jeffries, right? The Richie Torres. Like you have to look into the background because like I said before, they put them in front of you and they say, this person is progressive. This person is champion of this. And I will say, I think it's great that she did sign that letter from Mahmoud Khalil. I think that's great. At the same time, she went on record publicly and told everybody that she supports Israel. So like I said, again, if you were a civil rights lawyer, how can you support the oppressor? Because that's what she's paid to do. These people like AOC and Jasmine Crockett, they're puppets, and they are there as a distraction. They're there to make you think you now have someone in Congress that's going to fight for issues of your community. But they're not. They belong to Israel. Hakeem Jeffries belongs to Israel. I did a whole video telling you how he actually got that seat and who he screwed over to get it and who he was willing to sell out to get it. So we cannot be fooled by this. She hasn't even been there long. And right now, she already has a challenger. Who is, I guess, apparently looking to see where she got some of her campaign contributions from. So that's not good. Things are not always what they seem. You have to look into these things. Hey guys, this was a Sabby clip. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe.